Welcome everyone. I welcome you on the behalf of SP Concave Private Limited. I request you please mute your devices and turn your video off. So my name is Shahid Karol and today we are going to attend the seminar of admixtures, or we can say the admixture enhanced concrete. So let's start. So we live in a world of concrete, or we can say the concrete has become our world. Now question is, do we want our world made up of such a weak material, or do we want our world made up of a stronger material that never needs to be repaired? So is it possible to make a concrete a crack proof, more stronger, more durable? How can we do that? How I can make it? Do we have that answer? Yes, SP Concare Private Limited has that answer, and the answer is admixtures. And the answer is admixtures. So before starting it, let me give a glimpse on SP Concare Private Limited. SP Concare Private Limited is one of the leading construction chemical manufacturer in Maharashtra that touches the most basic and far advanced aspects of construction in various segments. SPCPL was established in 2008, and since then our company continues to maintain and exceed standards that are demanded by the best companies in the world. We have been a popular company with excellent track record for the best customer satisfaction. We have never compromised on the quality and the services provided to the customer. We believe in keeping the customers happy and providing them with the products at very competent price. We have entered our own factory premises in 2013, when with the state-of-art fully automated manufacturing plant along with the high-tech machineries and well-advanced laboratory equipped with all testing facilities with international standards. SPCPL has developed a substantial reputation for developing innovative products by listening to its client needs. This comprehensive product offering is supported by expert technical and sales support to ensure that you have received the most effective efficient solutions. So these are the points that today we are going to cover. So we are going to start with the history, then we are going to look up to hydration reaction, then introduction to the admixtures, then chemistry behind the working of admixtures, then applications, then the SP Concare Private Limited admixture, that is under brand name of Admix, then ESTM codes, then we are going to see the difference between SNF or PCE, then selection of admixture based on different cases, and then troubleshooting of concrete. So let's start with the history to see where it all began. So year 1873, the first patent of calcium chloride goes all the way back in Germany. The calcium chloride is an more effective and least expensive accelerator which is used, but nowadays its use is prohibited due to more chances of corrosion of the reinforcement. The next is 1930. The modern admixture technology, for example, our water reducer, our retarder, air entering admixture, their use started to grow in North America in between 1930 and 1950. Next, year 1962. Due to growing use of admixtures, the ASTM published C494 standard for the admixture, which sets performance criteria for 5 types of admixtures: A, B, C, D, and E. And later in 1980s, they introduced again 2 types of admixture, that is E and F. We are going to see the details in later. So next is year 1979. They introduced the corrosion inhibited admixture introduced, which helps to protect the reinforcement from the corrosion, especially in coastal areas and industrial areas. So next is 1980 and 1990s. In between 1980 and 1990s, the use of high range water reducer, or we can say the PC based admixtures, the people realize is effectiveness of higher slump and durability of low water cement ratio. Their beneficial, their advantages people have realized, and their use start to grow from 1980s to 1990s. Few years later, in 1996, the shrinkage reducing admixture introduced, which help to protect the admixture from cracks. For example, from freeze and thaw condition, or you can say due to shrinkage. For after 1996, again one admixture is introduced, which is known as viscosity modifying admixture, which is recently developed and which is mostly used for self-compacting concrete, which we say SCC concrete. So this was all about history. Now we are talking about hydration reaction. So what is hydration reaction? So hydration reaction is basically reaction with water. Here we are going to see what happens when we add cement to the when we add water to the cement. So basically cement contains these 5 contents. So the first is tricalcium silicate, that is C3S. Second is dicalcium silicate, that is C2S. Third is tricalcium aluminate, that is C3A. Then tetracalcium aluminiferrite, that is also known as the ferrite, C4AF, and then gypsum. So we are going to see the reaction with water. So the first reaction is reaction of tricalcium aluminate with gypsum and water. So the tricalcium aluminate reacts with the gypsum in the presence of water to produce the ettringite and heat. You can say the C3A, that is tricalcium aluminate, reacts with water and gypsum to form the ettringite. So this reaction produces a large amount of heat during the hydration process. But this compound, the compound, that's ettringite, this does not contribute anything to the strength of concrete, but it will give the durability to the concrete. So the next reaction is the reaction of tricalcium silicate with water. So the tricalcium silicate reacts with water to form the calcium silicate hydrates and the heat. So as you can see the reaction, the C3S, that is tricalcium silicate, and the water reacts to form the CSH, and then calcium hydroxide, that is CaOH2. So this reaction produces high heat of reaction, and this is the fast reaction. So the CSH produced, that is calcium silicate hydrates produced, it has short network fiber structure, which contributes greatly initial strength to the cement. So the next reaction is reaction of dicalcium silicate with water. So the dicalcium silicate also react with water to form the calcium silicate hydrate and the calcium hydroxide. Similar like previous reaction, but the difference is this reaction is much slower than previous reaction and produces less amount of heat. So the calcium silicate hydrate from this reaction contribute to the strength of the cement paste. This reaction generates less heat and produces the slower rate, meaning that the contribution of C2S to the strength of the cement paste will be slow initially. So this compound is, however, responsible for the long-term strength of the cement, or we can say the final strength of the cement. So as per the first reaction, which I said, the reaction of tricalcium aluminate and gypsum and water, the ettringite is produced. Now, as per the once the gypsum is used as per the first reaction, now the remaining ettringite reacts with the tricalcium aluminate to form the monosulfate crystals. Here, the ettringite reacts with the tricalcium aluminate in presence of water to form the monosulfate crystals. Now, the monosulfate crystals are only stable in sulfate deficient solution. Hence, in the presence of sulfate, or we can say if the concrete is subjected to sulfate attack, the crystal resort back into the ettringite, whose crystals are 2.5 times the size of monosulfate. So what happens if the concrete is subjected to the sulfate attack? These monosulfate crystals again resort back into the ettringite, which is 2.5 times in the size of monosulfate. So this increasing size of the monosulfate into ettringite, this increasing size, this causes the cracking when the cement is subjected to the sulfate attack. So now the last reaction, the reaction of ferrite. The ferrite undergoes two progressive reactions in the gypsum. So in the first reaction, the ferrite reacts with the gypsum and water to form the ettringite. So ferrite reacts with the gypsum and water to form the ettringite and produces lime, ferric aluminum hydroxide, and ettringite. So in the next reaction, now this ferrite further reacts with the ettringite and form the produce garnets and the ferric aluminum hydroxide. So reaction with ferrite and ettringite, lime, and water, which produces garnets. Now these garnets only take up space and do not in any way contribute to the strength of the concrete. So this was all about the hydration reaction. Now we are going to talk about the admixtures. So what are the admixtures? Well, admixture are the substances which are added to the concrete to improve its performances such as controlling setting time, workability, and other cement properties in order to meet the requirement of complexity of modern structures. What does it mean by that? Say for example, for the precast manufacturer, their production rate is mostly depend on the rate of hardening of their concrete. So the less the rate of hardening concrete, less the rate of hardening of the concrete, more their production rate. So what they do to reduce the hardening rate of concrete, they use admixture. Similarly, for the RMCs, unlike the precast manufacturer, they want to delay the setting time of concrete. So they also use admixture to delay the setting time of concrete. So how we are going to see that later. So basically, these are the types of admixtures. The first is water reducers. Second is accelerators. Third is retarders. Then anticorrosive admixture, followed by crystalline waterproofing admixtures, then air entraining admixtures, and then viscosity modifying admixtures. We are going to see this one by one. So first is water reducer, which is also known as the plasticizer. So what water reducer do? The water reducer admixture helps to reduce the water cement ratio while maintaining a required level of consistency, and ultimately it increases its workability while preventing the bleeding or segregation issue. In most cases, when the excess water is added, the bleeding and segregation issue occur. So to prevent that, what water reducer do? It reduces the water cement ratio while maintaining the required level of consistency, and then ultimately it increases workability. Next is air entraining admixtures. So an addition of hydraulic cement or an admixture for the concrete or mortar which causes air, usually in small quantity, to be incorporated in form of bubbles in the concrete or mortar during mixing. So when we add air entraining admixture into the concrete, it incorporates small quantity of air bubbles. What happens when you incorporate these bubbles? It usually increases freeze and thaw resistance, as well as it limits its generation of cracks. Accelerators. So an accelerator is an admixture which, when added to the concrete or mortar or grout, which increases the rate of hydration of hydraulic cement, or shortens the time of set in concrete, or shortens the setting time of concrete, or increases the rate of hardening or strength development. So it can shorten the setting time of concrete, it can increase the rate of hardening or rate of strength development, or also it can increase the rate of hydration of hydraulic cement. So basically it has two types, early setting admixture and early strength admixture. So early setting admixture, it can increase the setting time of concrete as well as it also increase the strength development also. But whereas the early strength admixture, it just increase the strength development concrete and does not affect the setting time of concrete. Retarder acts in opposite way of accelerator, where accelerator reduces the setting time of concrete, retarder delays the setting time of concrete. So the function of retarder is to delay the setting time of cement paste in concrete. So mostly these are helpful for concrete that has to be transported to long distances, or in helpful in placing the concrete in higher temperatures. So long distance means mostly in RMCs. The retarder mostly used in RMCs. The next is corrosion inhibitor. The corrosion inhibitor can be used as defensive strategy for the concrete structures, such as marine facilities, highway bridges, parking garages, or that will be exposed to higher concentration of chloride. So what happens? So when we add a corrosion inhibitor admixture to the concrete, it forms a coating around the reinforcement of the concrete. It forms the coating around the reinforcement of concrete. So when it is subjected to higher concentration of chloride or corrosion causing chemicals, it protects the reinforcement of the concrete. So next is crystalline waterproofing admixture. So this is the recently developed crystalline waterproofing admixture. It reacts with the free lime present in the concrete in presence of moisture, and it generates the crystals which blocks the porosity and capillaries, making the concrete totally waterproof. So we can say this is the admixture which makes the concrete waterproof. So the last is the viscosity modifying admixture, which is also known as the VMA. So VMAs are used to produce the self-compacting concrete, which modifies the viscosity of the concrete. That's why it's mostly used in self-compacting concrete, which is used for the mostly casting heavily reinforced section or in the complex shapes where the regular concrete cannot approach. So that's where the self-compacting concrete occurs. This was all about the types of admixtures. But now, why we need admixtures? So what are the reasons that we may need the admixture? So basically, there are four reasons. There are four possible reasons that's why we need the admixture. So water cement ratio, workability, the porosity and capillarity, and the carbonation. These are the four major reasons. That's why we need admixture. There are four reasons that which is related to each other. How? That's how we are going to see. So as I said, in hydration reaction, you need water to complete the reaction. But how? So for that, the water cement ratio comes. So what is water cement ratio? Water cement ratio is kg of water per kg of cement. So this water cement ratio is around mostly 0.25 to 0.3. So what is 0.25? So suppose you have taken the 100 kg of cement. So as per the water cement ratio, around 25 liter to 30 liter of water is sufficient for that. But in general concrete construction, the water is added in excess of that necessary for the hydration to improve the workability, making it easier to transport and place and compact and finish. But when the excess water is added, the excess water evaporates during hardening, which leaves the voids in the concrete, capillaries, pores, cracks, and air spaces of varying dimensions. So next is porosity and capillarity. Now, when you add the excess water, which leaves the capillary pores formed as the water migrates to the surface of concrete during hydration, these micro cracks creates a root deep enough to expose embedded steel to the risk of corrosion. So if the water molecule or any other chemical or substance which can cause the reinforcement for the corrosion, so this is the major way for that to happen. So suppose take an example of carbon dioxide. Now suppose this CO2 is entered through that porosity into the concrete. So what will happen? So this CO2, as per the first reaction, as I said, in reaction with calcium silicate, dicalcium silicate, and tricalcium silicate, the calcium hydroxide is produced. Now, when this CO2 is entered into the concrete or in contact with the concrete, this CO2 and calcium hydroxide reacts with each other, ultimately forming the calcium carbonate and water. Now, this calcium carbonate is porous in nature and brittle in nature. Now, this property affects the strength of the concrete. On the other hand, simultaneously, this CO2 reacts with the moisture, or you can say reacts with the water present in the concrete, forming the carbonic acid, that is H2CO3. Now, this H2CO3, as per in the name, this is acid. Now, this acid and the water, these are more than enough to cause the corrosion of the reinforcement. So when the pH value falls below the 9, the reinforcing steel can corrode and expanding as it rusts and causing the concrete surface to crack and spall. The hot, humid salt, laden atmosphere, and groundwater of the region's coastline form the ideal environment for the corrosion of the steel reinforcement. So these are the reasons why we need the admixtures. So this is the graph that I took from the Civil Engineering Journal, volume 4, number 8. So the porosity of the concrete affect directly to the strength of the concrete. So the more the porosity, lesser the strength, and the porosity depend on the water cement ratio. So here, as you can see in the graph, on the x-axis, you can see the water cement ratio from 0.3 to 0.9, and on y-axis, you can see the compressive strength in MPa of 20 days compressive strength. On the left-hand side of y-axis, the compressive strength in PSI. So as you can see here, at the 0.32, this value is higher, and as the water cement ratio goes on increasing, the value of the compressive strength, as this here is around 50 MPa, and as you can go increasing the water cement ratio, this value start to reducing. So here you can see, the more water cement ratio, the lesser the strength. The more porosity, lesser the strength. So For that, the SP Concare Private Limited had designed the admixture under the brand name of Admix. So these are the products of SP Concare Private Limited. So under the water reducer section, we have the admixture 210 and admix 310. So these are the water reducer with slight retention. And now the next is accelerator. Accelerator we have under three products: Admix 200, Admix 200X, and Admix 389. So Admix 200 is early strength admixture, whereas Admix 200X is early setting admixtures. And the third is Admix 389. This is PC based admixture, which can give you early strength as well as it also give water reduction. So next is water reduction, water reducer and retarder. So as you can see here, the Admix 215, Admix 240, and Admix 248. These are the SNF based admixture. And the Admix 300, Admix 315, and Admix 345. These are the PC based admixture. So under the wet mix method, that is mostly used in precast manufacturers. So in order to protect the mold from wear and tear, they use the admixture. So Admix 326 is that admixture. So it protects the mold from wear and tear, and also it improves these properties. So next is corrosion inhibitor admixture. So for the corrosion inhibitor admixtures, we have Admix 55. So the next is air entraining admixtures. So under air entraining admixtures, we have two admixtures. The Admix 152, which now is known as the Admix Cellucrit, and the second is Admix 700. And the next is crystalline admixtures. So crystalline we have Admix 701, which is recently developed. So we are going to talk about this Admix 701 later on. The next is VMA, that is viscosity modifying admixtures, that is Admix 333. This VMA is mostly used in self-compacting concrete. So these are the ASTM C494 that is introduced in 1960. So they introduced this, they set a performance criteria for different types of concrete. So the type A represents the water reducing admixtures, whereas the type B represents the retarding admixtures. The type C represents accelerating admixtures, and type D represents the water reducing and retarding admixtures. The type E represents the water reducing and accelerating admixtures. The type F represents the water reducing and high range admixtures, and the type G represents the water reducing, high range and retarding admixtures, and type S represents the specific performance admixtures. So these are the products of SP Concare, which follows the STM C494 codes. So here the Admix 700, which follows the STM C494 type A and type D. Admix 55 follows the type C. Admix 105 follows the type B and type D. Admix 200 follows the type C. Admix 200X follows the type C again. Then Admix 210, which follows the type A and type F. Admix 215 follows the type G. Admix 240 follows the type B, type D, and type G. And Admix 248 follows the type G. So here the PC based admixtures that follows the range of Admix 300, 310, 315, 326, 345, and 389. So Admix 300 follows the type F. Again, Admix 310 follows the type F. Admix 315 follows the type F and G. Admix 325 follows the type F. Admix 345 follows the type F and G. And lastly, the Admix 389 follows the type F. So, as I said, the Admix 210, 215, 240, and 248. These are the SNF based admixtures, whereas this range is PC based admixtures. So what is the difference between SNF base and PC base? So we are going to see under the chemistry behind. So first is SNF based admixtures. So what is SNF? SNF means sulfonated naphthalene formaldehyde. So SNF based admixtures working on principle based on the electrostatic force of repulsion between the negative charged ions, which means when you add the SNF based admixture to the concrete, it deposits the negative charged ion on the surface of the cement molecules. So these are negative charged ion which deposit on the surface of the cement molecules, making the molecule to repel each other. which ultimately results making concrete flowable. So what is electrostatic force of repulsion? When the same charged ions come near to each other, they repel each other in opposite direction. So as you can see here, this is the cement molecule and this is the cement molecule. So when you add SNF-based admixture to the concrete, these negative charged ions are deposited on the surface of the admixture. This negative charged ion and this negative charged ion. So this negative charge and this negative charge ion. So they repel each other in opposite direction. So further, here is the next particle of the cement and here is the next particle of the cement. So this particle repel this particle in opposite direction, and further this particle repel this particle in opposite direction. So in this way, the flow of the concrete is achieved. So they then come near to each other. We prevent the flocculation of the concrete, and then we ultimately get the flow of the concrete. So the next is polycarboxylate ether. So the PCE, polycarboxylate ether, this PC working is principle based on the steric hindrance. So what is steric hindrance? We can say the steric hindrance causes the inability of the particle to participate in a reaction, or this effect prevents the particle from coming closer to each other as a result of presence of ether chains adsorbed on the surface of cement particles. So now when we add PCE base or polycarboxylate ether base admixture into the concrete, it deposits the ether chains on the surface particle of the cement. So this is the cement particle. So on the surface of the cement particles, this is the ether chains. So this is the ether chain and this is the ether chain. So now here you can see this is the cement particles, this cement particle, this cement particle, and this this is the ether chain. So now when we add the PC-based admixture into the concrete, these ether chains are adsorbed on the surface of the concrete. So now this ether, as you know, ether having more molecular, the ether is a more higher molecular weight compound. So now due to this higher molecular weight compound, due to the presence of higher molecular weight compound, or we can say that due to the presence of these ether chains, they prevents the cement particles from coming near to each other. So this may create the gap between these two. This prevention causes the flow of concrete. So due to this ether chain, the molecule prevents from coming to each other, as same for the other particles, and in this way you get the flow of the concrete. So that how you can decide the PC, how you can choose the SNF based admixture or PC based admixture. Hello. So here the difference between SNF and PC, nowadays as you can see, the SNF based concrete, SNF based admixture is much more cheaper than the PC. So the client always prefer the SNF based concrete, SNF based admixture over the PC based admixtures. Reason is just cost. So now I'm here to show you which is better. So for that, we have considered a case, a slab of 10 meter cube having dimension of 10 meter by 10 meter and thickness of 4 inch, that is 0.1 meter of M25 grade. So for that, mixed design is as you can see in the chart. So for that, cement is 315 kg, 20 mm aggregate is 650 kg, 10 mm aggregate is 465 kg, crushed sand is 946 kg, water used is 160 liters. So around this water cement ratio, considering acidity conditions, this water cement ratio is 0.5. So now for that, for this case, the cement comes for the 63 bags, that is 3150 kgs. So now here what we do, we are going to use the SNF based admixture and PC based admixture for the cases. Now we'll see what is the economy of this both cases. So now we consider the slump requirement, that the initial, so for the initial, the slump will collapse at the initial stage, and then after 60 minutes, the slump height will be 120 mm. So now This is the case about admixture 215, and this is the on right hand you can see the admixture 315. The admixture 215 is SNF based admixture, and admixture 315 is PC based admixture. We have choose this admixture mostly used in this admixture are mostly used in market. So now the SNF based admixture, that is admixture 215, we consider the dosage of 1.2% of total cement quantity, or we can say the 600 ml per bag of cement. On other hand, the dosage of 315 is 0.7% of total cement quantity, where it is the 350 ml per bag of cement. So now the total quantity, that is 1.2% of total cement quantity, that is 3150, that comes around 37.8 kgs. On other hand, for the 315 it came 22.05 kgs. So the basic price of the admixture 215, that is the retailing price excluding GST, this is 45 rupees per kg, whereas the admix 315 this 75 rupees per kg. So now the total quantity of 215 required, that is 37.8 kgs with price of 45 rupees kg, which cost the total cost of the system is 1701 rupees. On the other hand, for the 315 the total cost is 1653.75 rupees. Here you can see the SNF, the final costing of the PC based admixture is lesser than the SNF based admixtures. Why? Due to the lower dosage of the admixtures. So in lower dosage, it provides much more, it provides the better performance than the SNF based having lower dosage. So even if it has the more price than the SNF base, finally due to the lower dosage it comes as equal to the SNF base or lesser than the SNF base. So here up till now you saw the how admixture works, why we need admixtures, what are admixtures, but how can you tell which admixture to use for the different cases? So here for the early strength you can use the admix 200. For the early setting you can use admix 200X. So that so if you want only you want strength development early, so you can use the admix 200. On the other hand, if you want the early setting time, then you can use admix 200X. Now next is if you want water reduction as well as waterproofing, you can use the admix 701 and admix 700. Where admix 701, this is the crystalline admixture, where admix 70, this is an integral waterproofing admixture as well as the air entering admixtures. So if you want only water reduction, you can use 200 admix 210 and admix 310, but this admixture comes with slight retention. So water reduction plus retention. So if you want SNF based water reducer with retention, you can use admix 215 or admix 240 or admix 248. On the other hand, for the same case, if you want PC based admixture, you can use admix 300, admix 315 and admix 345. Now for the corrosion inhibition, especially in coastal areas or industrial areas, you can use admix 55 or admix 55. Now for air entering admixtures, you can use admix 152 or which is also known as admix cellucrate or admix 700. So if you want early strength with high range water reduction, you can use admix 389, and for the wet mix method, you can use admix 326. There is another admixture that is you can use for a viscosity modifying agent. You can use admix 333 also. So where you can use admixtures? So you can use admixture in low slump concrete. You can use admixture in side batch to concrete and ready mix concrete also. You can use admixture in pre-stress. You can use admixture in precast elements. You can use admixture in railway sleepers. You can use admixture for high performance concrete or self-compacting concrete. You can use admixture in cold or hot weather concrete. You can use admixture in corrosion resistant concrete. Also you can use admixture in wet shotcrete mix. So troubleshooting. So in many cases the concrete have to face many problems or many troubles. That these troubles we are going to discuss today, and we are also going to provide the possible reason and the solutions. So first is bleeding and segregation. Why bleeding and segregation occur? So first reason is due to excess water. So what is the solution? You can either reduce the water dosage, and to compensate that the workability, you can use the water reducing admixture. Sometimes due to overdosage of admixture, this can also happen. So what is the solution? Just reduce the dosage. Next problem is generation of cracks. The possible reason is due to the shrinkage. So you can use shrinkage reducing admixture. And the second is the freeze and thaw condition. And for that you can use air entraining admixture. So another problem is the extended final setting time. So for that you can use overdosage of retarder. For the solution is reduce the dosage. Another possible reason is due to low surrounding temperature. So low surrounding temperature also affect the setting time of the concrete, which can also extend the setting time of concrete. So for that, use the accelerator. Next problem is problems in early setting time. Again, insufficient dosage of accelerator may cause this problem. So increase the dosage of the accelerator. Then again, due to the low surrounding temperature, this may also happen. So use the accelerator. So next problem is scaling or efflorescence on the surface of the concrete. So due to the excess water dosage, this may happen. So just reduce the water dosage and use the water reducing admixtures. Next is reinforcement corrosion. So why reinforcement corrosion occurs? So due to the water penetration into the concrete, so just use anti-carbonation admixtures, or due to the carbonation concrete. For the due to carbonation process, the reinforcement corrosion may happen. So use the anti-carbonation coating. Last problem is honeycombing. So honeycombing may occur due to the insufficient compaction. So when the bleeding or segregation may happen, so due to the insufficient compaction, the honeycombing may happen. So use the adequate dosage of the admixture. So but if after the construction the honeycombing may occur, so you can use our product, that is Duracon 49, to repair it. So recently the SP Concrete Private Limited has developed a new product, that is Admix 701. You can say this is an all-rounder product. So what is the product? So a unique crystalline additive for the concrete that forms a pore blocking crystal fibers in presence of moisture present in the concrete. This also acts as a super plasticizer and permanently waterproof treated the concrete. So this admixture acts as a super plasticizer. This acts as a waterproofing agent for the admixtures. This also seals the crack. It increases the freeze and thaw resistance. So there are many specifications of this particularly unique admixture. So what are the specifications? It is super plasticizer. It raises the positive and negative hydrostatic pressure and increase the concrete strength. It can seal cracks up to 0.4 mm. It increases the freeze and thaw resistance of the concrete. It is non-toxic and is also chloride free. So using this admixture 701, have developed a new system, that is Mr. Dry system, which is used while during the construction to make your concrete waterproof during the construction. So this is the comparison between Mr. Dry system and traditional method. So this traditional method is used after the construction of the concrete, and the Mr. Dry system is used during the construction of the concrete. Now for that, we have considered a basement raft or 3 meter by 3 meter having thickness of 0.5 meter with 3 meter height retaining wall of the M25 grade concrete. So in traditional method, the crystalline chemical coating is used and the coving of Duracon 49 is used, which cost around 26,025 rupees. On the other hand, the Mr. Dry system, considering which included the Admix 701 that I explained earlier and the SmartSeal 185, that is hydroswelling paste. This system cost around only 12,127.5 rupees. So here you can see the traditional method costing, that is around 26,000, and the Mr. Dry system having costing of 12,000. So the around difference is 13,000. So you are saving the 53% of your money. So you are you are here to decide which method to use. So this was all about the admixtures. Thank you for your patience. If you have any question, please ask.